A critical examination of Drive Who's Colonial Legacy. Episode title: A Timeless Critique. Doctor Who's Colonial Legacy. The iconic Time Lord has traversed the universe for over 6 decades, a constant presence in popular culture. However, beneath the show's charm and nostalgia, a problematic thread weaves its way through the narrative. A legacy that speaks to colonialism, power dynamics, and the fetishization of exotic cultures. Consider the series Inception. Created in the 1960s, a product of Britain's colonial past, the show often mirrors and reinforces colonialist attitudes. The Doctor, an Anglo-Saxon, civilized being, is often cast as the benevolent outsider navigating uncivilized lands. His character is steeped in a sense of entitlement, justifying the exercise of power and the displacement of indigenous peoples. This phenomenon is most pronounced in the early seasons, particularly during the Pertwee era, where the show frequently revisits tribal or native communities, typically framing them as simplistic, superstitious, or brutish. These depictions rely on racist tropes, painting colonized cultures as in need of salvation, whereas in reality, these communities have complex, rich histories. One need not look far to see this theme at play. Take The Abodes of the Talons of Weng Chang 1977. Here, we are presented with a racialized stereotype, one that exploits the supposed savage aspects of an Aboriginal Australian community. The story centers on the mystifying presence of primitives, blithely ignorant of their history, further reducing an already marginalized culture to the level of quaint relics. Doctor Who's take on the Orient is similarly simplistic and racist. Take The Tomb of the Cybermen 1967 or The Five Doctors 1983. In both cases, alien worlds and civilizations are described using imagery rooted in imperial-era racist fantasy, servitude, and imperial entitlement. Even as late as Venusian laser guns in Rise of the Cybermen 2006, you'll find disturbing allusions to imperialism's cruelest elements: war, dispossession, subjugation. Critics often deflect criticism by claiming Doctor Who represents subversive challenges to Western supremacy, positing the Doctor as a moral and scientific liberator. This convenient mythology only skims the surface. If one were to honestly scrutinize Doctor Who's take on power dynamics, colonialism, and exploitation, they would uncover more truth than platitudes about subversion and empowerment. At the very least, one might propose a reconsideration of Doctor Who's long history with cultural imperialism, considering it through a lens that reflects more thoughtfully on colonial power, problematic legacies, and diverse representation. After all, with power and dominance inherent in Doctor Who's actions and its storied presence in our cultural discourse, this task feels well worth it. Note there's ongoing, welcome critique surrounding this episode of Artificial Radio, and it encourages and accepts critical comments from our viewers, ensuring these criticisms stay focused and, perhaps most importantly, continually forward.